By the end of this video, you will know the top 10 things to do when scaling your home improvement business and the top 10 things not to do when you're scaling your home improvement business. Before we get into the video, my name is Anthony. I've personally scaled and grown over 40 different home improvement businesses and added six figures into their monthly revenue. Now, these here are some of our clients. This here is John. He went from 33,000 a month to 77,000 a month in just a little over 150 days, and that was by partnering with us. Tiddy went from 12k a month to 82,000 a month in less than 6 months. Simon went from 7,000 a month to 62,000 a month, just under 90 days. And Alan went from 12k a month to 58,000 a month. And Roman is one of the few clients who we've taken straight from the beginning, and he went from zero, absolutely nothing, to 36,000 a month. Now here you can also see some of our clients' revenue, their monthly revenue, and as you can see, they're all six figures: 100,000, 500,000, nearly 360,000, and yeah. So with that being said, let's get back into the video. So the top 10 do's and don'ts of scaling your home improvement business. Now, we'll go to the top 10 things to do first. So these are things you want to do. These are good things. And yeah, let's get into it. So number one is creating a system around everything you do. And when I mean creating a system, I mean things like if you're running paid ads, you want to create a system around that. You don't want to just have the ad itself. You want to have the ad, you want to have the funnel after that. You also want to incorporate following up with it. You also want to incorporate sales into that and create that all into one system. Now, why do you want to do that with everything? Because it increases in efficiency. If you take my paid ads example, if you run paid ads and just run the ad itself, then you're going to get leads. But if you're not incorporating sales into your system, then you're not going to be able to convert any of the leads you get. So if you do make a system around it, you will be able to convert more leads, you'll be able to get more leads, you'll be able to keep more leads, and you'll also be able to convert them more, which is just more efficient. It makes each acquisition channel more efficient for you. Now, the second thing is to have a team. Now, obviously, home improvement businesses have teams. Some have teams, but, quite small. Now, you do want to be having a team. Why? Otherwise, you'll be stuck in your business. If you don't have a team, and this could be for literally anything within the business, mainly the actual service delivery part, which is you renovating their bathroom, kitchen, whatever it might be. But if you don't have a team, then you'll be stuck in your own business, right? You'll have to do everything for yourself. You'll have to be doing all the leads yourself, lead scoring all yourself, sales all yourself, and then you'll also be having to manage like one or two people for the service delivery and also do it yourself as well. You'll basically have to do everything by yourself, and you're going to be stuck in your business. You're not going to have any time. You're going to be limited with your business, and there's not really much point of having a business if you're going to be stuck in it like that, because it's just not good like that. So you want to be having a team. Now, third one is partnership. Now, when I mean partnership, I'm talking about, partnership for the digital side of your business. Now, why would you want to do this? So essentially, it scales your business. Now, if you partner with someone, for example, if you were to partner with us and we take care of all the digital side of your business, because obviously your business has a digital side and a physical side to it. If we were to take care of your digital side, everything like running ads, following up with leads, calling leads, having website, everything like that is all the digital side. And if you're to have the digital side all done for you, then you would be able to focus on the physical side too. And it also increases efficiency, which also just leads to your business growing, because you're growing both the digital and physical side by being in a partnership. Because again, you can't necessarily do everything by yourself. Now, the fourth thing is having a CRM software. So If you don't know what CRM is, it's to manage all your customer relations. If you were to get leads from Facebook ads, that's where you'd have, automations, as we've talked in other videos. That's where you'd have all of those, SMS, email, all that stuff. That's where you'll also have all your conversations with the leads, being able to qualify the leads, if not, throwing them away essentially. Basically, it increases like productivity, right? It's useful and you want to have it, especially if you're running something like paid ads. And why? Yeah, it saves you time as well. So, because of the automations and the fact that all your leads are in one place. And as well with the partnership, as I said for number three, if you were to work with us again, we do have our own CRM software. So again, if you do work with a partnership, you do also get a CRM software, again, depending on who you work with. So that is also another reason for having a partnership with another business, essentially. Now, the fifth point of things you want to do is develop your sales skills. Now, I know a lot of home improvement business owners that they don't really care about sales skills. They think it doesn't matter, right? They think, oh, the client, well, they'll want it or not. I can't really change their mind. You can change their mind, right? Thinking like that is not the way to go. And now, why would you want to develop your sales skill? Because it gives you a higher conversion rate. If you can persuade the customer, right, you can basically convert more. And yeah, that's also another thing. Sales works with every single acquisition channel you have. Sales is also a part of the system. Now, when I said in number one to create systems around everything you have, and when I used the paid ads example, sales would be a part of that system. Because if you're running the paid ads, you have to turn that cold lead into a paying customer, right? And sales is one part of the process. It's from taking them from, a warm lead, from having a quote to an actual paying customer. And that's, the final step. And that's the step that, matters a lot because, that determines whether you have a job or not. So you do want to get better at sales. You want to develop that because a lot of home improvement business owners, they overlook it. They think it doesn't matter, and it does matter. And number six is to run paid ads. I've been talking about paid ads, for all these systems and everything. And yeah, if you're not running paid ads, then you should be doing it because it gives you more attention and that leads to more leads and that leads to more jobs. If you are doing paid ads and they're not working for you, you're probably doing it wrong in some way. Maybe it's not the ad itself. Maybe it's the fact that, you don't have sales skills. So you're getting leads, for example, but, none of them are turning out to be customers or anything like that, right? Or maybe it is the ad itself, but you get my point. So yeah, if you're doing it, if it isn't working for you, you can let us know in the comments and we can, check it out, see how everything's going with it, give you a custom like game plan on how to get better, how to create that system around it if you are interested. If not though, if you don't actually have any ads, then obviously run paid ads. And we also have a video on our YouTube channel coming out. It will basically be a Facebook ads masterclass. We do recommend Facebook, by the way. And yeah, it will be going in depth on creating, the ad copy, everything, the system around it. And you can watch that free here on YouTube. And yeah, you can start your paid ads, today, essentially, as soon as you see this, because it's a good acquisition channel to have. Now, number seven is to have a plan or have a goal. Now, this also again is overlooked. It's like, people think, oh, it's whatever, right? It doesn't really do anything. But it does. And why? Because you need to know where you want to be. You need to know to what point you want to scale to. Because if you want to scale, for example, to, high six figures, you realistically need to be having multiple teams working in multiple locations. For example, our top clients, multi six figures, as I showed you in the beginning of the video, and they have multiple teams working in multiple different areas, multiple different jobs at the same time. Because if you can only do one job at a time, then you're obviously losing out on jobs. So essentially you want to know where you want to be with, because the steps to get there they're going to be different, right? If you want to get to 20K a month, right, you can do that without, multiple teams, but it's obviously going to be different to 100K a month. So you do want to know where you want to be at, so you can obviously plan for that, because you can't just go in blind, right? You as a business owner, you need to look at your business's future, and you need to know where do I want this business to be in 10 years, 5 years, because if you don't have a plan or anything, it's not going to change. Your business is just going to keep staying the same, getting that one, cheap paying client job, and then you just have that for the rest of the 10 years because you have no plan and you have no action. So you do need a plan. This also helps with what you want to do essentially, and it also helps in how to do it because you'll know how to do it. So number 8 is to run referral programs. So essentially, this is referrals, and I say programs. This is also a system. So when I say creating a system around, all the acquisition channels, this is also it. So you want to just get referrals and you want to create a system around it. We also have a video on that if you want to go in depth into that. And essentially, just offering an incentive for the person to refer you a client, and also putting it in automations, showing it on your website, things like that, and creating a system around it so it essentially is more effective. And why would you want to do this? Because it gets you more leads, obviously, and which leads to more jobs, obviously, and more money. And, obviously, referrals are most likely going to be local. So you really are going to get known in that local area. And then people are just going to hear about you and, word of mouth, right? But a referral system also boosts word of mouth. So that is why you do want to have that. Now, number 9 is to develop a mentality. Now, when I say this, it also goes on to the step I said about having a plan. But you got to remember that you're a business owner, right? You are running a business. You're not just going to someone's house and, doing their kitchen. Yes, you are, but you also got to think about everything else. And now, why do you want to develop your mentality? Because if you fail, if you yourself as a person are a failure, right, then your business is going to be a fail. It's going to be a failure. So, yeah, that's all I have to say about that, really. I mean, it speaks for itself. We've had clients who we've had to change their mentality up a bit, because even with the Facebook ads, if you don't know what you're doing like mentally, then it's not going to work, right? And you got to have a business to manage. So, yeah, you have to develop that mentality. It's also a step people miss, but you got to have it in there. Now, the last to do thing for scaling, number 10, is developing management skills. Now, why do you want to do this? Because as a home improvement business owner, you have to manage both sides of your home improvement business. Now, what I mean by that is you have to manage the physical side of your business. So that is things like, getting all your machinery, getting all your equipment, going to the person's house, you know, reveno- re, renovating their kitchen, bathroom, whatever it is. And that's all those things that are physical, right? Digital side is everything that's digital. As I said before, having a website, running ads, all the leads and stuff like that. And you have to have these management skills because you got to manage both, right? Because a lot of home improvement business owners I know, they only know how to manage the physical side. And as a business, you can't just choose one or the other, right? You have to have both. You have to be able to manage both the physical and both the digital. That's why it also helps to have a team, right? So also a partnership too, because they'd also handle the digital. You'd still have to, oversee some things if they were in-house, for example, but it's less stress on your back. And yeah, you do need those management skills. Now, that's it for the 10 to do things. Now we'll go on to the top 10 things not to do. So, number 1 is not learning. Now, why? this is because if you don't learn, you fail. Now, again, this may seem pretty, generic, but it's true. If you don't learn from anything, then you fail. For example, I'll give you an example here. If you go to a person's house for a quote and they said no to you in the end. You did the quote and everything like that. You told them the price and they were like, no, they end up going with someone else or whatever it might be, right? You need to learn from that failure, essentially, because if you don't, then you won't get better, right? And that also goes hand in hand with like getting better at sales, developing your management skills, developing your mentality. You will fail, but you also can learn from failures. And, with sales, I'll go even in depth on that. If you didn't, for example, if you didn't target pain points, and you see in one of my videos that I say to target pain points, right? You got to learn from that. And you also got to learn for the fact that you didn't close the prospect. And you got to say, okay, next time I'm going to add pain points into my sales process. And also, other things like proposing my business as a higher value thing, for example. And, you do that and it gets better results. So, yeah, you got to learn. And yeah, if you don't, you'll fail. Number two is ignoring data. Now, this mainly like is for ads, essentially. Um, I mean, it's obviously say this to you, and it sounds like that's obvious, but not for some home improvement business owners. So yeah, I'm gonna have to put this in here. Ignoring data. Why don't you want to do that? Because if you ignore data, you fail again. Um, especially for ads and especially for other systems too. If you have automations and you see like one part of the automation isn't working as well and you have that data, if you don't do anything about it because you're too lazy, for example, or you just be like, oh, it's fine, then you're going to fail, right? That automation isn't going to work. Those ads that you're doing aren't going to work because you're ignoring the data. So you do want to be doing that. Now, number three is hiring the wrong people. Now, when I said in the first part of things to do, I said to hire a team and also do like a partnership. Now, you don't want to be hiring the wrong people. Why don't you want to do this? Well, pretty self-explanatory. It, gets you problems. Let's say you don't hire a skilled enough person to renovate a kitchen, and they might cause problems. They might accidentally do something bad, and that causes problems for you, which is more time, more money, everything. Plus, it finishes the job slower. Now, the time you finish your job in, that wants to be you want to increase that time, as in you want to get it done faster, because the faster you can get a job finished, essentially, the sooner you can hop on to the next job, which is more jobs and more money. So you want to hire the right team, especially if you're doing a partnership and you want to go with the right people, right? You don't want to go with the wrong people because they can obviously mess it up. So yeah. Number four is not having any systems. Now this goes hand in hand with putting systems around everything. It's basically the opposite of that. Not having systems. This will lead you to ineffective channels, right? You have those channels, but if you don't have a system around it, you've only got step one done, Okay, yeah, you've created the ads, but that's only step one. You still got to do step 2, 3, 4, right? And you got to complete all those steps to basically unlock the end, which is you getting a client or customer. So it basically makes all your acquisition channels ineffective if you do not have systems. Third thing, or fifth thing, sorry, is staying bad at sales, management, etc. Now, my main thing here is staying bad at it. You can be bad at it. If you're watching this video now and you recognize that you're bad at sales, that's fine. If you recognize that you're bad at management, actually, I'd prefer you to recognize that you are bad at it so you can get better. But if you stay bad at it, then, going to lead you to bad everything really. If you stay bad at sales, bad conversions. If you stay bad at running ads, then you're going to lead to, not getting enough leads. If you just stay bad, your business is going to stay bad. So you got to get better. Number 6 is not having a website. Now, this is a pretty simple one. Again, sounds pretty obvious, but a lot of people that I've seen, a lot of home improvement businesses that I've seen, they don't have a business. I mean, a website. And yeah, a website is basically an information hub. You know, on your website, you can put your offer. On your website, you can put client testimonials, video testimonials, photos of your completed projects. You can essentially put everything there. It's an information hub to your prospect. And if you don't have that, then your prospect has no information on you. And if they don't have any information on you, they're less likely to trust you. So that is something you do want to have. Number 7 is not scoring leads immediately and not qualifying leads immediately. Now, why? Because it's wasting time. I knew a home improvement business owner, and he didn't qualify leads immediately in terms of he did obviously qualify them, but in terms of small things like where they're located or, things you might forget to qualify them with, he forgot essentially. And he wasted a bunch of time building a relationship with the customer that was never going to be a customer because they were too far away to actually work on their house. So as well with this, you want to have, preferably automations or a planned system that you go through to automate them, because you don't want to be forgetting about doing any of this. You don't want to be forgetting about scoring them. So yeah. Number 8 is neglecting either digital or physical side. Now, I've mentioned the digital and physical side of your home improvement business, and I've touched on it a bit, but you basically need to have both. When you see all these videos, scale your home improvement business, grow your home improvement business, do all these things with your home improvement business, right? They always touch on the digital side. However, they never touch on the physical side. You can only grow your business to a certain extent if you have the digital side, but it gets to a point where you need to expand your physical side too. As I said, lots of our clients, our top ones, they have multiple teams. They have multiple teams working in multiple different areas, and that allows them to, one, work in multiple different areas, so more customer reach essentially, and two, also do more jobs at the same time. If you can do 5 jobs at the same time, that's a lot more monthly recurring revenue for you, right? If you can only do one, then there's only so many leads you can get yourself, right? And no one talks about that, but you need to have both sides. You need to have the digital side and your physical side. And yeah, and why? Because of what I just said, you cannot expand your business without it. Now, number 9 goes into other things I've said already, but it's trying to do everything yourself. So, not having a team, not having a partnership, or things like that. It's trying to do everything yourself. And this leads to, again, you'll be stuck inside your business. And if you're stuck inside your business, you can't even take a holiday off. Then there's no point of having a business, because a business is there for you to make money, to be free essentially. And if you cannot do that, then there's no point. So you do not want to be stuck inside your business. Don't try to do everything yourself, because you don't need to, right? You do not need to. Now, number 10 is not hiring enough people. This also goes hand in hand with this, essentially. But not hiring enough people, what does this lead to? It leads to you finish jobs slower. So, as I said, with the quickness of jobs, if it takes you 2 months to finish, a job, for example, and you could have finished it in, a couple weeks less, or even a month less, if you had, a couple more team members on your team. Now, that allows you to have a job quicker, right? And essentially, you can get more jobs within a month, more jobs within a year, even. So, yeah, you finish those jobs slower, and you cannot expand as well. Looking in the long run, if you obviously don't have enough people for even one team. You'll never have enough people for even two teams in two different locations at the same time. So yeah, that is it. That is number 10. That is the end of the things not to do for your business. That is it for this video. If you do want to have this Miro board, which is what I've been going through, there is a link in the description. You can check that out. And you have this one plus all the ones we've used in our past videos. It's completely free. We just want to provide you with value here. So don't hesitate to do that if you do want this. But yeah, that is it for this video.